Welcome back for the third time. Welcome to the Zildjian talk, and I'm gonna try to add Willy, and I hope that it works. The network is kind of funky today. Sorry, guys, we got having a little trouble connecting to Willy, and I'll try again, and let's see if it works. Are you guys able to hear me clearly? Because I think the net connection is pretty decent from here. I don't know why is this happening today. Let's try one more time. If this works. Willy, are you there?
Hi.
Welcome back for the third time.
Yeah. Let's see how this
Okay.
one goes.
Okay, let's try now. I think we've done everything possible to get this sort
Yeah.
of work, but no, it's I'm kind of again losing you, brother. I'm not able to hear you.
Just oh yeah. Just give me a
Yeah.
minute. Let's try this out one more time. I'm going to
Okay.
go offline and then come join back, yeah?
Okay. Okay. Guys, can you tell me, is my frame getting blocked, or is it only Willy's frame? So let's see if we can. Yes, Ganesh, take three. I think it's gonna be take four as well now. Unfortunately, we're losing Willy, and I'm not able to hear him that well. Okay, somebody saying it's mine. Somebody saying mine is okay. Uh, okay. Confusing, guys. Yeah, even I'm able to see my frame clearly though, but I'm not able to see Willy that well. We're gonna try one more time, and hopefully that should work. Yeah, man, some weird lag issues happening. Let's see. Yes, buddy. All good?
Finally. Yeah. I think this was part of the session that we need to post about
Yeah.
life.
Okay. I'm just hope that it doesn't stop again, but let's try this again. So tell us, how are things back in Bangalore for you, and how are things working out during this lockdown period?
Well, yeah, I mean, sorry to say that, but things have been kind of good for me.
Right.
I know, things are really, in a very difficult position for a lot of people. But yeah, it used to be very, what do you say, busy. Every day was busy before. But now, as musicians, you would understand. You're like crazy touring all the time.
Yeah.
So, we guys got some time off, and we are kind of relaxing. As I said earlier, I watched almost every movie twice now on Netflix. I think I'll start watching seasons and documentaries twice.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think same here. Like, I've kind of been, we're getting some really good off time, from our schedules that we used to have on a general day. And
yeah,
now we are able to kind of focus back to the instrument, able to practice more,
yeah,
and try to
yeah,
also explore different spaces now. Otherwise we are always stuck to just doing one thing and one kind of
yeah, yeah,
music.
yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
time has really given us that space. So,
yeah.
so tell us, how are things with your band, the Peepal Tree, and I heard you're also coming out with a new album with Nama Music soon.
We did that already, and
Okay,
that's out. It was
okay,
like a 4-song EP that we did. It was a real
okay,
quick thing. very far away from the soundscape of Peepal Tree.
Right.
And we just said, okay, this is going to be in collaboration with Sandeep Chowta, and
Yes.
and also we kept it a little more on the commercial side, more on the fun side. We didn't like as much as the thoughts went into it. We still kept it like nice and easy, and easy to listen to and stuff like that. The album is all four Kannada songs.
Okay.
As the label says, Namma music. It's Namma means our music.
Yes.
So it's a whole Kannada thing. So yeah, Sandy's been doing a lot of collaborations as well. I think he plans to release like 100 albums by the end of the year. So
That's incredible. Actually, that's the best thing about Sandeep is that he always has, appreciated and supported band fan. That's the best thing about Nama. And supporting such
yeah,
amazing bands from all across the scene.
yeah.
Okay, I've lost twos. Sorry, guys, for the inconvenience, but it's kind of a little crazy today. Hey, Willy, can you hear me again? For me, it's again stuck, bro. Mm, yes, I'm losing you, and yeah, it's better now. I can see you. It's kind of, I don't know, again getting stuck
Okay.
again and again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try one more time. Uh, so tell us about your journey. Like, when did it all started, and like how did you choose drums as an instrument? And if you can talk a little bit about your practice routine back, when you just started off.
Well, it all started off when so I come from a music family. My dad was a drummer, a really good one. But as you know, music really wasn't that lucrative back in the days, especially in the 90s. It fell flat. And so at home they just said, you can't be a musician, and that's that. And
Oh, okay.
just become an engineer. So I became an engineer. But somewhere when I was in my 11th and 12th, I kind of saw Tony Das play the guitar, and I just wanted to play the guitar as well. But then the guy is such a sweet guy, and you want to be associated with him for life. And so now I was thinking, even if I become a guitar player, then I can't, two people can't play lead in the same band, right? So, all of those amateurish
Right.
thoughts when it came to music, that, I want to play this, I want to play that. But also, the problem was at home, they said, no music for you, just study, get a government job, you're going to be all right. And stuff. And then so I really couldn't pick up buy a guitar or anything. I mean, I used to get the pocket money of $10 for 2 weeks, just in case I missed the bus, then
Right.
take the. So drums is something that I just somehow, I don't know. I just went sat on the drum kit and I started playing, and so that's how it all started. And I played for about 2 years without
So your
anyone at
father
home
also was a
knowing.
drummer?
Yes, he was. So for about two
Okay.
years, no one at home knew that I even played the drums. And so that's where it started. So, there was no drum kit at home, and I didn't have access to it. And I had a curfew of, how we grew up saying,
Yeah.
6 o'clock back home, get to your studies and stuff like that.
Right.
So I just imagine myself in front of a drum kit, and that's the best part about that, right? I mean, you can
Hmm.
imagine if you want to play a Rush song, you can imagine Neil Peart's drum kit in front of you. If you want to play a Dream Theater song, you can imagine Mike Portnoy's drum kit in front of you, and then so you then start associating the sounds, and yeah. So that's kind of how I got into it, and so the the bass drum, the legs of the bass drum earlier in the Chowdhury kits, you could actually remove the rods out. So since they,
Yes.
my dad, yeah. So since my dad wouldn't keep any sticks at home, I just pull that out, from somewhere, and then, just play with it. And yeah, I kind of got a little mad. Yeah, I'd sleep with those rods under my pillow, or sticks if I found any under my pillow. Wake up in the middle of the night, start playing, and then I'd get chased around by my mom in the house, yeah, at that time of the night. Just she just wanted to beat the shit out of me for doing that and waking everyone up. But that's
Right.
kind of how it all happened.
Correct. So what was
Yeah.
your first kit? Like, what was your first official kit that you bought?
The first official kit that I bought was on loan. It was a Tama Swing Star, which I still have.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the old Swing Stars, I think they made it really well. And
Yes.
I had a choice. I had a choice of getting sterling cymbals or Zildjian along with that, and I said Zildjian because when I was a kid, my dad showed me some videos, and I was like, oh, what cymbals are those? He's like,
Hmm.
son, these are Zildjians, the best cymbal in the world. And I was like, man, I have to get those cymbals. But of course, I
That's
had Planet Z's, and yeah, so it started there with the drum kit. I was on loan for I was still in college, and my guitar player George and my mom kind of gave me some money, and cost me 45 grand at that point in 99 2000. It cost me 45 grand
wow.
when I would get paid 500 bucks for a gig. That was quite a big loan to jump into.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So, as we are on the Zildjian India page, and you're one of the endorsees of Zildjian symbols. Tell us how your journey has been with Zildjian, and when did you get endorsed, and and if you can talk about your current setups with the and what symbols you've been using for Peepal Tree.
Yeah, well, the journey with Zildjian has been just phenomenal. In fact, so when the talks were going on with Zildjian about my endorsements, and so that's when I was on tour with Raghu, and we had about 45 gigs in the UK,
Wow.
and I just emailed Tina and asked her if we had to rent out everything over there, and so I
Yes.
asked her if and the endorsement was just about kind of coming through, and I just emailed her and asked her, if I could, if there are any symbols that I could borrow for the gigs in the UK. And even before the contract was signed, they sent me a set of symbols. They said, okay, this is
Wow.
this is where you can get it from, and go and take it. And I was like, oh my God, these guys treat you as family even before you get into it. So that's how it all began. And
Right.
from there on,
So
it's just been a
did,
great
did you
journey. It was,
did you go to the London store to pick up those symbols at the because there's no factory as such in London, but there's a store
yeah,
which
yeah.
you can kind of go and pick up your stuff from there. So did you get to
Is there?
choose your
I can't.
symbols?
No, so I told them what I needed. So
Okay,
I
you
didn't
had
pick it
already
up from
sent
a.
your list.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I hadn't sent the list. But for the gig, I said, okay, what do you have? And then they said this, and then I chose all A's, you know. And I said, just
Right.
send me this, and I should be good for this gig. Because with Raghu's setup, it was a kind of a minimal setup of symbols, just like a ride,
Yes.
two crashes, hats in China, and that would work for me. And at that point in his musical journey,
Right.
so I picked it up from some kind of go down. I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah,
Cool, cool.
not from a
So
store.
what is your current setup with all the Z's in the People Tree band?
Oh, my current setup is crazy. So hats is a okay. I have to read it out to you because it's a
Sure,
little.
sure.
So I have
Absolutely.
a yeah. So my hats are kind of hybrid, not the custom hybrid.
Okay.
It's what Jeff, the cymbal tester, when I was
Yes.
there at the factory and I was like, this is the sound I'm looking for, and this and that. I threw a lot of stuff at him, and then
Yes.
he walked into the vault with the trolley, and then picks up like some 35 cymbals, walks out. Oh man, that was amazing. I can't wait to get back to the factory sometime soon. Soon after the pandemic, I
Right.
hope. So
Right.
hats is a 13-inch K top with a 13-inch A master sound bottom
Okay.
because I needed
Wow.
the master sound, the wavy thing for a good chick sound, and I just fell
Yes.
in love with it. The minute Jeff showed me these hats, and I was like, okay, this is done. And
Right.
so then I use a 19-inch K dark thin crash and a 17-inch custom dark crash and a 19-inch Constantinople crash ride. Which none of this you would have seen at the Zildjian day because I used all A customs over there.
Yes.
I'm a
Correct.
big fan
Correct.
of A customs.
I
Yeah,
remember that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But this setup is what I used on the Peepal Tree album.
Nice.
So then I also have a 6-inch A custom splash and 8-inch K splash, 21-inch K custom hybrid ride. I love that ride. I chose
Nice.
that particular ride out of like 5 different K custom rides. And
Right.
I have about 3 stacks to die for, I would say. The best
Nice.
stacks
Nice.
ever. I saw you use one of those as well. Oh,
The
I have it here. One
EFX,
sec.
the
Yeah,
China over the EFX.
the A custom
Yes.
EFX over the this one.
Yes.
So
I've been doing that for a while now. Yeah. I think I carried
okay,
that on the Bangalore Drum Fest
yeah,
gig.
yeah, I saw that and I was like, hey, same stack as mine. So
Right.
yeah, Jeff kind of. So I was describing the sound of the stack that I wanted, and Jeff said, and I was trying out a lot of stuff. I think I totally pissed him off with how much inputs I was giving him, and he's like, I think I
Right.
know what you want. So he went in and brought this stuff in, and the minute I hit it just once, and I said, yes, this is the one. And then a couple of other stacks,
Amazing.
which it's a 14-inch, sorry, it's a 12-inch Oriental China trash with a 10-inch ZXT trash former. That's one of the
Oh, nice.
open stacks that I use. And another
Okay.
stack that everyone's been asking for at a live gig, that is the 17-inch K Custom Dark China over the 18-inch K EFX. And
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it sounds massive on the PA. It just sounds brilliant. In one of my
Right.
Instagram posts, some live thing, when I posted, someone was asking me about it, and because it sounds big and crunchy and really nice. Yeah. So that's my
Right.
setup on the album of People Tree.
Okay. Okay. And generally, when you travel also for live gigs, you carry your cymbals and like you have the same setup?
Most of them. I don't. Sometimes I don't use the splash. It totally depends on the kind of stands that I get. Sometimes, at least now, people have been investing. The drum providers have been investing a lot
Yes.
on good drum kits and stands, and they've been maintaining the drums. But
Yes.
earlier, I would just not take the splashes, and I'd carry 3 boom arms to accommodate some of my cymbals and stuff like that, because it wouldn't have the sleeve or the felt, and I don't want my cymbals breaking. And so yeah. Now I
Yeah,
do.
I
Now
think
I do carry
now the
everything.
backline guys have really like upped their game. Even like Gladson in Bangalore, like the kit
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
played
yeah,
at the Bangalore Fest
yeah,
was outstanding. Like the stands,
yeah,
the whatever I wanted, he just had it exactly. I
yeah.
just had to carry my cymbals and snare, and that's about it. So
Oh,
yeah,
you sounded phenomenal that day. I was
thank
just
you, man.
standing backstage, and I was like, your
Thank you,
doubles
thank
are
you,
just
thank you, man.
yeah.
Thanks. So again, a lot of people out here were asking about your practice routine. If you can talk about that, like when you started off, and also now during the lockdown, do you have any kind of practice routine that you're going through?
Well, not during the lockdown. Soon after the Bangalore Drum Fest, I ended up with some severe tennis elbow issues, and I was, Nishant also was like, "Bro, do this, do that, stay,
Oh,
take
really?
it easy and stuff." Yeah, 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 really bad with my right hand. So
Oh,
in a
okay.
way, lockdown, it kind of came together because my left hand's kind of really weak, and my diddles and stuff. So since I couldn't do anything with my right hand, so I just watch Netflix and go on with my left hand. So it's kind of gotten stronger.
Nice.
But before the lockdown was, I mean, when I started off, it was more of what do you say? Just air drumming and drumming to the songs because we didn't have any. I didn't have any formal coaching, and nobody even knew what rudiments were and stuff. So you're just listening and trying to replicate what the guy is doing out of pure love for music and pure love for the drummer and what he's doing in there and saying, man, how is he doing that? Like for the longest time, I didn't even know that something called the double bass pedal existed. So and the concept of overdubbing and stuff. So since we come from there, it was more of just air drumming and playing to the songs and listening. Listening was and is the biggest form of my practice. Just sit, close your eyes, just listen to the music and not just listen. When you're listening, you're actually listening. I'm not just hearing to the song. I'm listening to it, even like right from the feel and the pocket and the displacement. I don't mean displace it by a quarter note. I mean the displacement within on that note. So that kind of
Yes.
stuff. But just before the lockdown, my practice routine it kind of got heavy. It's only when you practice for an hour or so for about 10 days is when you are like, oh my god, I love this instrument more than what I thought I did. So
Right.
I took some tips from Gergo Borlai's practice routines.
Oh, that's
When I met
nice.
him, yeah, when I met him, he said he was talking about. So I asked him how to approach a song or learning or practice and stuff like that, and he's like, he just practices. He just warms up for about 2 to 3 hours, before even he gets into his proper practice routine. So that's basically what
Cool.
I do, and I found it very very helpful. Just warming up, movement around the kit, and as I told you, my diddles are like really bad. And when I watched you do those doubles, I was like,
So,
fuck, what the hell is that? Yeah, all of us were going crazy backstage. And so I've been working on that. My doubles, right, left. And I spend a lot of time on that because ever since I watched when I was a kid, when I watched Dennis Chambers play at the Buddy Rich Memorial Concert, I used to
yes.
do doubles before as a press thing, not as a double thing.
Right.
But after I watched that, I was like, oh my God, he's doing such crazy thing with just single strokes. And I became such a big fan of it. I didn't touch double strokes at all. And then after so many years, I realized what a big mistake it was. So now I'm practicing on all the double strokes and stuff. And also something from the Gergo Borlai practice routine that I picked up is um, playing threes and moving left and right of the kit. So you go,
Okay.
and you start that
Yes.
slowly, and then and then you build up speed, and it's really good for your back muscles as well. It
Right.
strengthens your muscles, but you have to do that. You take it a little easy on that because that quick movement is not like a very good thing till you warm up and get into it, and slowly increase your tempo over time and stuff like that. But
Right.
otherwise, as I said, my left hand, I've been like working on like tom to snare, and different toms to snare, and cross movement around the drum kit, and that's pretty much my routine right now. But otherwise, I play a lot to songs.
Okay.
I love pop as much as I love progressive rock and metal. I love pop, and I just like to just sit down and just play the groove. And I play to a lot of Michael Jackson and Alanis Morissette, and from there on, I'm playing to a groove with such great drummers on those albums. I start to add elements like an extra ghost note, or and then build on the same groove while I'm practicing, like an extra kick or
Right.
or like three kicks at a time, which is difficult at the beginning, but then you somehow figure out the technique to go ahead with it. that kind of stuff.
Correct.
That's my practice routine. Just playing to songs
Right.
is a big thing that I do. Yeah.
So who are your earlier influences in like when it comes to drummers when you started off and when you were playing with albums, what kind of albums were you playing back then?
Oh, my first album, well, the day I said, "Boss, I'm gonna be the drummer," is of a rock band is when I heard 24 Karat Purple,
Oh,
this
okay.
album by Deep Purple.
Yes.
Yeah, and at home my dad had all of these Ted Nugent and Deep Purple and Led Zepp and all kinds of crazy guys, as well as some Ghazal stuff and Talat Mahmood. Is that what his name is? I'm sorry,
Yes, yes,
uh,
yes.
and all of that, right? And Boney M and everything. So when I was listening, picking on his up his tapes and listening to it on a tape player, and I was really enjoying some rock stuff. And then he's like, "Oh, wait, let me play you this band." And then the first song he played for me was "Smoke on the Water," and I was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" When the guitars kicked in and the distortion and everything, I was like, "God, this is like, it." And then he
Right.
said, "Oh, wait, wait, wait," and then he played Black Knight and then Speed Demon, and so it went on with that. Um, but so Ian Pace was my biggest, my and but after that I met Tony, and then came in all the crazy guys. Or even before I met Tony, I think my dad got a couple of VCR tapes, the
Right.
videotapes, and
Yes.
he got Zildjian Day. I think it was 1984, and
Right.
he got Buddy Rich Memorial Concert. And
Right.
so that kind of blew my mind away. And, I was like, how do these guys even do this? Because I don't even know what drum kit was then. I was just listening. I hadn't started playing then, you know.
Right.
So there was like Vinnie Colaiuta, Steve Gadd, Alex Acuna, Tommy Campbell, and in the Buddy Rich concert, the concert with Dennis Chambers, Greg Bessonet, and Louis Belson. Oh my
Yes.
God, that just blew my mind away. And then I started talking to Tony, and started playing in church. Um, not really in church, because we come from a Roman Catholic denomination, and
Right.
we usually don't have drum kits in church, but in the youth room and stuff like that. And me and
Got it.
Tony went to the same college, and he gave me two tapes, and then that was Van Halen Balance, and massive album, and Extreme, Best of Extreme, and
Wow.
yeah, from there on, from there on, it was Paul Geary, Mike Mangini, Mike Portnoy, and Jeff Porcaro, Simon Phillips. Those are the kind. That's where. So I skipped Iron Maiden, Metallica. I skipped that completely. Like I
Right.
skipped that part, and I took the Deep Purple from straight from there to Van Halen, Extreme, Mr. Big, Toto. Kind of that road
Right.
out.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Also, I wanted to know, like, what do you think about the drumming scene in Bangalore now? In the sense of, you've obviously been there from the 2000s, almost close to 20 years now, playing in
Yeah.
this scene. What is the, because I see a big change in when I come to Bangalore and when I'm seeing so many drummers from Bangalore, I really see a big
Yeah.
change in the last at least 10 years. What do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel about that?
Well, the change is massive. It's quite crazy. Well, Bangalore always had great musicians, but all hear and play, like listen, play kind of musicians.
Yes.
There were great bands from Bangalore. Very technical stuff. And I think Bangalore, Chennai, Bombay had lots of good guys. But lately, the information that the drummers have has increased multiple folds. Like ever since YouTube came into picture from I think 2004, 5, 6.
Yes.
Um, the kind of information that's available, and also the information that's much later, like 10 years after that, when all the drummers out there started looking at this as something that they could post and stuff, the kind of information that's available for the drummers, it's amazing. So these days, you just get such phenomenal musicians out of everywhere, every city, and Bangalore as well, right? And every guitar player, every drummer, like they just know so much. They play so well, and they play such technical stuff. It's brilliant. Yeah. So from what it was to what it is now, people are also more accepting of the fact that music is something that to do as a job, whereas from how it was before, where they said no, music means these guys are just smoking pot and drinking and wasting their
Right.
life, and
Right.
which was never true. I mean, if that was true, then it's the same with all professions, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Absolutely.
we know what goes on elsewhere as well. So
Absolutely.
so yeah,
Absolutely.
so yeah, great musicians coming up, great drummers coming up from Bangalore, and a lot of information available, a lot of schools coming up, and
Right.
yeah, so
Yeah, I think it's a great time for the drumming community right now because I feel, as you said, information is there. There are good schools, and I know that
yeah,
even you have your own drum school in Bangalore, and if you can talk a
yeah.
little about that and how did that start, and like, if people who are here on the chat also who are interested in kind of connecting with you on the school,
Yeah.
like how do they go about that?
Well, I kind of started the school to, I don't know, I just wanted to bring in a bunch of musicians with the same experience as mine, in the number of years and also the kind of exposure that they've had, and put a school together. So I called in a few great musicians from each branch, like guitars and keys and drums and everything. And I said, okay, let's put this together. Make sure whoever comes in, we add value to their lives, right? So with our school, we are not trying to make everybody a rock star, send them to Woodstock and play a few gigs. What we realized was music, like right in my life and in all of these people's lives, whoever's involved with the school, it's really touched us and changed our lives for the better. Like there were times when I was walking the wrong path,
Right.
like, and that would have completely destroyed my life. And where I am right now is totally different from where I would have been. So we thought, and also, there are so many scientific researches that, how music really helps people, especially children, when they start learning at that age and stuff. So we said, okay, we are going to come together and teach people as much, everything that we know. So five of us, with each one of us 20 years of experience, right? And so that's a cumulative 100 plus. So, just come together and do the right thing, add value to people's lives. So we want everybody to look at it as meditation or yoga, because music is
Right.
that healthy, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, so we want them to do that. Then what they do with what they learn, whether they want to become rock stars or they want to take up a corporate job and come back home and play for themselves just to relax, or play at parties, and whatever they want to do is their thing. But
Right.
right now, I think music is very essential in everybody's lives, especially with the way things are going in the world, and violence is increasing, and there's just some crazy stuff happening. And I think music kind of calms people down and helps people to understand to just love each other and relax. And
That's
if
amazing.
you're feeling violent, just take a Pat Metheny album or something and just listen to a Toto or something. Just chill, you know.
Right. True,
Yeah.
true, true.
And also,
Yeah,
we want everyone to appreciate the musicians out there on stage,
yes,
because
yes.
lately it's just there are so many people playing such wonderful things, but mm, people think glam is the thing for good musician. No, but if they know what music is, then they appreciate anyone, whether there's glam in it or not. They just appreciate
Right,
music and musicians. Yeah.
correct.
So
Amazing. Also, I wanted to know, so you played with Raghu Dixit project for the longest time, right? About I think 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Uh, so when did you like think about firstly, how was the experience? Obviously, playing with Raghu and the whole band and traveling with them, and what was the decision when you moved from Raghu Dixit? Why did you kind of think that okay, now I think I'm pretty much done and I want to kind of explore something else?
Yeah. Well, deciding to play with Raghu was a life-changing experience. And I'm also kind of very impulsive that way. And when I left, so I was working in the US with a nice fat salary,
Oh, no,
and
I didn't know that.
and yeah, yeah. So I got a job there, and I was working there because, of course, financial
Yes.
commitments in the family and stuff like that. And so I went there, and then after a couple of years, I just said, this is not what I want to do. I don't care if I earn even. So I accounted it to even if I make $4,000 in a month, or $5,000, and that loan is sorted. So let me just come to India and do this, and I just want to play music. So I just woke up one day and I said I quit, and I got back here and I started from scratch, and then I was working for $10,000, from this much to
Wow.
to
Incredible.
so and then I started playing. I was a little mad, so I was very impulsive, and so Raghu Dikshit project happened for me, and I must say I played with a lot of great bands, like Moksha and a lot of guys. But Raghu's playing with Raghu kind of the exposure that I got and the experience traveling, gigging, the kind of crowd and the kind of venues, the festivals, traveling abroad, doing your own shit abroad, carrying your own drum kit and fixing it all by yourself, and sleeping in friends' house and trying to make that gig happen. There was so much discipline that I learned from there, because otherwise here in India, it was just like, you just go to a gig and, you have your gear there, you throw some tantrums and say, okay, but when you go out there, playing with Raghu, it just gave me so much exposure about, uh, uh, it kind of showed me that you're still not, you may be doing all of this, but you're still not everything. There are so many people. I've met so many amazing musicians, and it teaches you no matter how good you think. I didn't think that I was good, but I'm just saying this. All of what I learned, that no matter
Right.
how good one thinks, there is someone always there who's better than you. So how do you approach life? And also, when you travel with Raghu, not with Raghu, but with any band for that matter, and you're living together and all of that, the dynamics of the band, and how dynamics of each other and how to cope with each other, because you're living like husband and wife, not even like a family.
Yes.
You have so many fights and so many things that you need to take care of. So that's something that I really got from Raghu Dikshit project. It was a real blessing for me in terms of experience, and professionalism and
Right.
exposure and everything. Yeah, financially also it did good because we do 7 gigs a month, so it was
Right.
great.
Right. 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 So when did you take that call that okay, I want to kind of do something else,
Oh,
and then you started playing with a lot of other people as well.
yeah. So I'm very good with commitment. So when I was playing with Raghu, I wouldn't take up any other gigs.
Right.
And then at one point I watched you play, and I was blown away. And then I watched Jay play, Jairo Kavi, and I was like,
Yes.
man, And so I started putting in some more practice then, and I'd have certain things set, saying, okay, at this point I'm going to do this. And so, but when I went on stage and saw everyone and saw the setup and heard what was coming through in my monitors, I couldn't move from what I was playing previously, and
Right.
it was a lot of blocks. So then I realized, and slowly I realized my drumming wasn't just in that place. but it was also beginning to go down. So that's
Yes.
when I said, I need to work, practice more, and maybe, I'm very comfortable here because, come on, 7 gigs a month, who would not want to have it, right?
Absolutely.
It's good, it's great, and so many tours abroad, and great pay as well, and but then I realized, I'm in my comfort zone. Now I need to get out of this as soon as possible because otherwise I'm going to be in shit.
Right.
So, so I had no other bands or any ideas in mind. I just quit uh, Raghu Dikshit project, and also 5 years is a long time because you've rubbed shoulders quite a lot and
Absolutely.
everything,
Yeah.
and I think a break is always good. You know, you can
Right.
always, that's my advice to anyone who thinks, things are not going very well with the band. Quickly take a call, get a meeting together, talk to each other, say you need a break because you don't want to destroy the relationship you have with the person, because you
Absolutely.
all start off as good people, but you're so different as in personality that you don't want that over the years thing to get in the way.
Right.
So I kind of got out, and and then People Tree happened, this, that, everything, and then I started putting in more practice. But again, from there I jumped to zero. From US fat salary, I jumped to $10,000, and then Raghu happened, and then after 5 years, with a lot coming in every month,
Right.
I jumped from that to zero, and no, but at least by then my loans were sorted. I took care of my loans, so I just
Right.
jumped
Right.
to earning zero zilch, and I said, okay, I'm going to put in some time on practice. And then we formed People Tree, and we took about 1 year to write the songs, our first album,
Right.
and so there was nothing coming in then. So yeah, that's what happened.
That's incredible,
I think
actually, because sorry to cut you out here, but you
no,
really
no,
need a big heart to take that decision because uh, lot of the times, as you just said, you get into a comfort space, whether it's
yeah,
musically or financially, that you are able to make that kind of money, and then you don't
mm,
want to take that risk of saying no to a band like that,
yeah, yeah,
and especially when you
yeah,
are at the top of your game. But as you
yeah,
correctly said, like, once you play with a band for a certain amount of time, there are chances that you are, as you said, you go into a comfort zone, and that will really affect your playing for sure. And
yeah,
that's the only reason a lot of people ask me about, why I play with so many multiple
mm,
setups. And
mm.
that's the only reason I answer is that, to just keep yourself musically active, in different genres of music,
Yeah,
or else,
yeah,
if
yeah,
I just play with one band, as you said, I'm just going to get so comfortable because I'm playing with them with so many years, and then musically there is
true,
no improvement at all. And
true,
plus, it's
true,
very
yeah,
important to also keep playing with better musicians. That's what I always felt,
yeah,
that
yeah,
to always play with musicians who are better than you. It doesn't mean that
yeah,
the
yeah,
people who are playing with me are bad or something, but just somebody who can just kick your ass once
yeah,
in a while.
yeah, 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 yeah. Throw
It's
you a
very,
challenge
very
every
important.
once in a while, and yeah, that's true. It's very,
So
very important to play with different musicians who are better than you. Yeah, as you rightly said, better does not mean they are worse than you.
right,
It's
right.
just playing with different people who are constantly practicing and stuff. I'm sure you play with all the setups, all the different lineups that you play with, and you'd love to
Right.
go back and play with them anytime, right? So
Correct,
yeah.
correct. Incredible. Okay. Let's talk about a little bit about your gear and stuff. Like, so we've obviously right now, what kit are you using? Is it still Tama?
Um, Yeah, it's the same Swing Star that I bought,
Okay.
and I want to upgrade. But once the pandemic settles down, I'd probably think about upgrading. But it's the same
Right.
Tama Swing Star, and when I was in the US, I kind of bought a Ludwig accent toms
Okay.
because I wanted to. I started to get into the fusion space and the sound of the smaller toms and stuff like that. So I got those, and it matched
Right.
perfectly because I got the same wind rate, and it sat well with the rest of the toms.
Right.
Um, so that's that. And
What
my
heads are you
my
using on that right now?
they're all Remo heads right now. Yeah, I'd
Remo.
like to try out
Okay.
I'd like to try out the Evans. Remo is something that I've always used, and
Right.
Evans are great as well. And
Yes.
yeah, I'm not very fond of coated heads unless some great tuner of the drums comes and tunes it for me, because some people do it so beautifully. It's all in the tuning more than you're
Right.
playing when it comes to coated heads. As per like for me,
Right.
yeah. But my
So
pedal,
so
the
you're
pedal
using
that
two ply clear heads right now for with Remo? Double
yeah, the
ply clear
sandwiched
heads?
yeah, the sandwiched heads. Yeah.
Okay.
And the pedal that I use is Pearl. I've never been able to get out of Pearl pedals. They're just amazing. Although
Right.
my Demon Drive, the beater just comes off every once in a while.
Oh,
Not every once, like quite often. I don't know. I've read a lot of people have that problem. But
okay.
I used to have this really old one step below the power shifter, the one with no adjustments at all. It was really heavy pedal.
Right.
And then I got the Demon Drive. I love the Demon Drive. It's amazing. Yeah, yeah. So pedal is that, and cymbals, of course.
Yes.
Yeah,
And what
I have a whole
sticks are
bunch
you
of A
using?
customs as well. Um, I love the waiters,
Wait, right.
waiter fusion. Mm, so back when I was playing with Raghu, again, I had the same tennis elbow issues with both my hands in both my arms, and
Right.
Jay was endorsing waiters, I think then, and he was like, "Hey, dude, just check this out. What do you think? Let me know."
Right.
And so I used them, and I was really comfortable. So I've never changed from that to anything.
Right.
I constantly look out to see if there's anything that comes close to that feel, or and things like that. The balance in the stick and everything.
Right.
But
Right.
no matter what I use, the minute I pick this up, I'm just like I'm just going for it. I guess it's the years of playing with it, like about eight
Yes.
years of playing Vedas at the same fusions. So I guess I'm just really used to it. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. That's awesome. That's a good combination. Also, what are your future projects now? What are you going to be planning after the pandemic's kind of over, and what is lined up for People Tree and for you?
Well, People Tree, we are looking at the second album, like, but we haven't had too much time because everyone's busy with their own things. Each one's doing their own stuff. But we are trying to get things going with on that front. But otherwise, I'm also working on a couple of projects for which, as per contract, I'm not supposed to talk about it now.
Okay,
So,
fine.
but otherwise, I'm looking at developing the school more, making music more. Um, what do you say? Just getting more people to understand what music is, and what how important it is to in everybody's lives. And also, I'm looking at a couple of projects where we do some free gigs for for the NGOs and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff in the pipeline. Um, Setting up my jam room with the right kind of mics, which I'll call you for sometime.
Absolutely,
To
anytime.
you played on Pareshan, right? Pareshan, the song.
Yes, yes,
You played, right? Oh my
yes, yes.
God, what playing, man! That is, oh, it was like genius.
Right.
I love your Coke Studio stuff. I totally dig it, and
Thank you, man.
but otherwise the song Pareshan. So when we guys go out and play corporate gigs,
Right,
I said, okay, this song is going to be on the list. Of
right,
course, it's a great song.
right,
It's a great song in itself. But I said no, that drum sound and those pockets and the way he's phrased it, we have to have that song on the list. And I love that song. Very soon I'll put out a
right.
cover, but I don't know. It's just going to be
Thank
my
you.
way of it. But yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
yeah,
fun, like, to work with, composers who give you that freedom, especially when it comes to session work as well. Yeah, they are pretty much open to ideas out here as well, and certain times, we, as drummers, have certain things that we want to incorporate in songs,
yeah, yeah,
and when you get that
yeah.
freedom, you really feel happy, and then, especially when people like you appreciate it, it makes it even better.
Oh,
So yeah.
thanks.
Cool stuff, man. Okay, so we've just got a couple of minutes left. One final message to all like upcoming drummers. What do you suggest them? And somebody who's just starting off, what do you think that how difficult it is now to become a drummer in the current scenario, and whatever message you want to give them.
Yeah, well, I'd advise them on everything I did and advise them against on some stuff that I did again. But currently, everyone should just play music for the love of it. Uh, you know, don't do it for social media or any such stuff. Just play it because you love it, and just understand one thing that anyone can be as good as you or better than you if they just put in some practice.
Right.
So just being musicians, the first thing that you have to try to be is be more understanding and mature about this point that, don't try to compete against someone, because there's always somebody else after that someone, right? I mean, when is that going to stop? Never. So
Never.
the only person that you want to be better than is you yourself the day before, right? So then
So true.
you reach levels, and then you also know that there is somebody out there to beat you, and then you also get this into your mind that you yourself can beat you, so you don't have to like brag about it and go about it. But otherwise, for drummers, I would recommend or advise strongly that you all learn a melody instrument along with your drumming. Don't ignore the melody aspect of music. It's very important because sometimes you want to compose and then you're just handicapped. You don't have that space to do it. So it's very important. Also, it helps with understanding different people. But right now, people are learning drums with there's so much more structured learning of drums where it's mostly with sheet music and learning. I can't read music, but learning to read music and
Yeah.
chops and this and that and everything. But from where I come from, I learned drumming in a musical context. By saying that, I mean I listen to songs and I listen to drums, and then I'd say, okay, he played this there when the guitar player was playing this and the bass player was playing this.
Right.
So right now I don't know if everyone's doing that, but a good way to a good thing to add to your repertoire is a melody instrument, so that you also start listening to music in that context. So yeah, that's that. Stay cool and simple, and respect each other, respect everyone around, and don't go by propagandas on social media, because that's one of the most dangerous thing. A thing
Right.
that came in to bring people together. It's kind of taking us apart.
True.
And just take it easy and respect everyone, especially within the music community. You don't have to feel greater about yourself about anything. Just respect each other. Hang. If anyone wants to come hang with me, I'm more than happy anytime. Especially during sound checks, you can always come and check out my cymbal, which I've been saying in every video of mine. Ever since I got the cymbal, saying if anyone wants to come check out these cymbals, please do come.
Right.
And yeah, so that's that. Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
and thank you so much, Darshan, for
Please.
hosting this. And thank you,
Pleasure.
Zildjian
Pleasure.
India and Zildjian Company. It's been a great journey. I think I've been with them for 7 years now, 7, 8 years, and it's just been great. Phenomenal. So
Thank you.
it's
Thank
a
you so
it's a
much,
good
Willy,
thing.
for thank you so much, Willy, for giving your time and also, joining us today. I'm sure like a lot of people are also gonna hear this interview later and are kind of gonna get inspired, with all the the information that you've shared with us. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much and pleasure kind of connecting again after the after
Yeah.
February.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't know in February that actually we're gonna connect like this in the near future,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
happened. But you stay safe. Hope your family and everybody's doing well, and we should connect soon after this pandemic is over.
Yeah. 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 It was great
Yeah.
talking to you, Darshan. Yeah.
Cheers,
I'll
buddy.
message you or call you sometime. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Willie. Cheers.
Bye.
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 Yes, that was Willy Demoz from Bangalore. incredible journey from, starting not into the whole music scene, working as a part-time job in America, coming back to India, working with Raghu Dikshit, leaving that in 5 years to, to push himself as a better musician. So yeah, there's a lot of great information on this interview. So do check it out again, and hope everyone is staying safe. Hi Sanket, hi Nick, hi Deep. Great to see you. Hi Parth. Good to see everyone out here. And we're going to be back next Saturday at 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time with one of the finest drummers in the scene, one of my favorites for sure. And I'm really, really excited for that interview. And please join us on Saturday at 10 p.m. And we shall connect soon and talk about another person's amazing journey. Take care. God bless.